Actually start our meeting. Commissioner Batchelor, would you lead us in Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda this morning is approval of the regular session minutes of September the 8th, 2021. Board, we have received these in advance. Is there any corrections or deletions?
None here.
None.
Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item C, we have a presentation this morning by USI, Clermont County Employee Benefit Renewal Recommendations, Steve Ferguson and Susan Stockman.
Sure, this is good. All right, good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. How are you?
Well, thank you for having us. We are here today to bring conclusion to what we talked about before. When we were here before, we talked about the preliminary results that we had for this year's benefit renewal for the county, and we are pleased to bring some final numbers to you and some results on this. So we're going to go through that today.
I'm Vanna again.
All right, good.
Good morning.
So today we're going to talk about stop-loss proposals, a recommendation, or an alternative we're bringing to you on a pharmacy manager, the dental and vision, and some of the other county benefits, and then just some recommendations. So just a quick summary of stop-loss. The reason we talk about stop-loss is because, as you know, the county's benefit program is self-insured. And so you're insured up to a stop-loss deductible. And really, stop-loss is the insurance for the county. So we spend time to make sure we go through the stop-loss thing itself. So as you can see from here, USI went out to 12 different stop-loss carriers, all A-rated. The initial proposal came in at 17%. We were able to bring that down considerably. So when you sum it all up with all of the things rolled up for the renewal this year, we were able to initially come in with about a 1.9% increase, and with the change in stop loss, we were able to come in just about flat. So it's it's less than 1%. So these are small numbers, an eye chart here, just to point out on the circles that I've identified. You can see at the bottom that the initial one was 1.9, and the bottom circle showed up to 0.4. So we're going to spend a few minutes and kind of move the agenda up to talk about the pharmacy manager, simply because this is an area that was a big concern for the county. As you know, pharmacy is a big concern for most employers around. Pharmacy is a real issue these days with the specialty drugs, and it's especially a problem with the county. The county's pharmacy cost runs today about 35% of the entire medical cost, which is high. Typically, the average around is about 22%. So that was obviously an area that we wanted to address this year. Last year's average was 31, so it's getting higher, and probably without any attention to it would continue to get higher. Specialty drugs, which are the most expensive drugs, they tend to be injectable drugs, the drugs you see on TV at night, things like those. Very expensive drugs. Right now, less than 1% of all members take specialty drugs. However, it represents 51% of your total pharmacy expense. So obviously that's the thing to focus in on. That's one of the things that we've looked on today. So right now the county's pharmacy expense, if you annualize it, comes into about $3.6 million, a little lower than last year, which was about $3.8 million. Employees pay about 12% of the costs, and the drug rebates, which is really some people refer to them as kickbacks from the pharmaceutical manufacturer. We get back about $1.2 million in rebates right now. So USI went out to the market. We have pharmacy consultants. We have a guy who actually represented the state of Ohio in a pharmacy review with Ohio Medicaid, and he is our pharmacy consultant. We went out to many different pharmacy managers. We settled on a group that's called Elixir Pharmacy. It has been around for a long time, a large pharmacy manager. They offer several advantages to the county. One of the big advantages is that, well, and I'm going to hit that in just a few minutes, but one of the big advantages is they have improved RX management. So what that means is that the clinical review that they do, we think is some of the best in the industry. So somebody calls in, they say they want this drug, it's an expensive drug, somebody will actually get a hold of their doctor and say, would it be better to have this drug instead of that drug? So their exchange rate is probably one of the highest, which is a good thing today, be able to get a drug that still works but has a lower cost to it and the thing. They also have what's called a best-in-class pharmacy. So today what happens when a person takes a specialty drug, that specialty drug is always going to be filled by what's called a specialty pharmacy. And every pharmacy manager owns their specialty pharmacy. And so that's something that happens. And so whatever that drug is what you pay. What Elixir does is it goes out to a panel of about 15 different specialty pharmacies, and it searches. So somebody is prescribed Enbrel, it'll go out to these 15 pharmacies and say, what's the lowest cost for Enbrel, and it will buy it based on that pharmacy. So no one does it today, so that's really an innovation I think is really great out there. So when you consider this drug, what it does is, the big program that we have here is what's called a manufacturer's assistance program. So with this program, you will have heard on TV at night when you watch these commercials, the end of the commercial will always say something, if you can't afford this drug, contact the manufacturer and we'll figure out a way to pay for it. That's what's referred to as trusts and funds and other things that are set up by the manufacturer. So what this is doing is taking advantage of that. So if somebody is recommended to take a specialty drug, someone will reach out to them and say, if we can get you this drug at no cost, would you be willing to submit an application for this program? Everybody does it so far, so it's really a positive program. And in doing that, the county will save probably about 70% of the cost of the drug. So as you can imagine, instead of paying a high cost and getting a rebate, if you don't pay the cost, which is good, you're not going to get as much of a rebate because you're not paying the amount in it. So with this program, you'll see a little drop in rebates, but you will also see a big drop in the cost that you're paying for those drugs. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So the estimated savings that we have with this program, you can see on this next page. When you add in the difference in the cost and the difference in the rebates, the improved management of specialty drugs, and what we call the alternative funding, which is the manufacturer's program, we come up with a savings of it's projected about $675,000 in next year. So we're real pleased with the direction that went. Any questions so far about that? Okay. So really, if we look at total cost in two different formats, the first format would be no change with the pharmacy manager, that we would stay with our current pharmacy manager. So if we look at everything, if you consider the change in the county health care fund, you also consider HSA contributions, rebates, the discount programs, and the ACA, what they call the PCORI fee, you can see that without the change in the pharmacy manager, the costs are just less than zero, about 0.6 right there, everything rolled up. So if you look at it with the change in the pharmacy manager, everything else stays the same, except your rebates go down some, but now you get the advantage of the pharmacy program that's put in place. So now what you're looking at is about a 3% reduction in cost. Any questions on the pharmacy at all? Okay. So a couple of things that we've looked at too, just responding to requests from members and also making sure that we adopt what has become a standard. Yes, sir.
Before you move forward, you asked if there were any costs about that RX. Your numbers that you show here for this reduction in cost of 0.3% in the RX side, does that, are you taking that deduction just based specifically on using the RX manager and the lower cost? Or are you also projecting in there that some people will receive this benefit by filling out this application?
So it's an assumption of how many people will complete the application, and we assume that probably about 80 to 90% will do it. There's really no reason for you not to do it. if you can get the drug, the result for the member will be no cost for the member. So instead of paying their copay and their deductible and all that stuff, there'll be no cost. So there's a built-in incentive for the member to do it. Some people may not do it, so we build in an assumption that some people won't do it in that process.
Okay.
It's a good question, yeah. So, as I said, one of the things we wanted to do was respond to member requests and also adopt what's considered to be a United Healthcare standard, which is to pay for hearing aids. Keep in mind, not many people are going to actually use the hearing aid benefit. There's very few people that will actually do it. So we looked at kind of a worst case, and in the worst case scenario of this, it's probably about $24,000, which is, when you look at the budget of the thing, is a pretty small number. Even in the best case of fewest people there, it's about $9,600. So that we're simply adopting a standard that United Healthcare has. The second thing is kind of an interesting thing. It was brought up by our pharmacy manager, who's actually a pharmacist. Mental health concerns are a big concern for the county, but also for most all employers today. Issues with COVID and everything that people had working from home and all the stress that goes with it, that mental health has gone up some. And if you're familiar with what happens when people who struggle with mental health drugs, because of the experimentation that oftentimes a psychiatrist will do, or even a primary care doctor will do, with the drugs that works well with somebody. Somebody can actually struggle with those drugs for months and months and months, sometimes years, getting the right cocktail that works for that person. So what's happening these days is people are using a genetic test, and it's the original name was called GeneSight, which is actually developed in Cincinnati. But this test will actually, through a mouth swab, will actually tell the person which mental health drug is perfect for that person. So you don't have to go through the experimentation. And so the cost for the test is pretty minimal, $100. It's going to be a savings to the county, but even better than that, it'll be a great help for those people that are going through it. So switching gears into the dental plan, we actually looked at several dental options. We came down to two different options. If you remember from the last meeting, there's been a lot of employee concerns about the current dental program because they were purchased a few years ago. We're seeing customer service drop off, and we're seeing some problems with the network and things like that. So we looked at several options. Two kind of stood out. If you look at the third bullet, you can see that both two vendors, one's called Delta Dental and the other is MetLife, offer some advantages that your current program don't have today. So they both offer better in and out of network benefits, number one. Two, the orthodontia accumulator actually gets started over for people, so people who have already accomplished that, who have kids in braces or expecting it, will then be able to start up again. It added some dental implant coverage, which you don't have today. And actually the contracted discounts, if somebody runs out of benefit, you still get the discount today, which doesn't occur in your current vendor today. So both programs were good. I know that one piece that was a big concern is that the available dentists in the Cincinnati area are much larger with the Delta Dental program than they are with the MetLife program. So I think when the Health Action Committee looked at it, that was, along with the brand name that Delta Dental brings, was one of the recommendations that they had. So you can see on page 13, forward. Yeah, go to 13. 13 actually shows, or go back to dental. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't. That's fine. So you can see on your copy, on page 13, there's some rates in there. And yes, MetLife does have lower rates. Employees pay the entire amount for the dental. So, I guess if I'm going to be in there, do I want a lower rate or do I want to make sure my dentist is in the program? And so most people would probably rather have their dentist in the program. And so I think that was really one of the issues that came up with the Health Action Committee.
Now I'm vision.
Yeah, good. All right. So with the vision plan, the current vision carrier is iMed today. And, iMed is a great carrier. They're owned by Luxottica, which is a Cincinnati company. They like it. One of the things we find is that certainly people who live in the Clermont County area, who live in rural areas, oftentimes don't want to drive to the Eastgate Mall to go to Lens Crafters or something like that, or some of the vendors may be limited. We actually looked at a plan called Vision Service Plan, which is one of the top vision plans in the country. The difference between the two is the vision service plan actually works through individual vision doctors, optometrists, ophthalmologists, things like that. So you'll have to see the available network tends to be bigger, and we were actually able to get a decrease in the premium cost, and you can see that on the next page. So again, people pay this cost today, but you get what we find is that because of the benefits that are a little better and because of the expanded network, and they pay a little less, I think the Health Advisory Committee actually looked at this and said that VSP makes a lot of sense. So the next page gets into the other county benefits, the life insurance, the disability, the voluntary life. It's not on this page, but at the very last minute, we were able to secure an increase in the voluntary life up to $500,000 that people could purchase on their own. So that was a very positive feature that we have in there. So, and then the final page on page 17 is just the recommendations for the USI and Human Resources. Met many times with the Health Advisory Committee, and these were the responses that came back that we would renew with Voya, that they would move to a different pharmacy manager, which is called Elixir from Optum, which is what we talked about earlier. Choose the medical option 2, which was the one with the change in the pharmacy manager, that chart they had. Add the hearing aid benefit, add the genetic testing that we talked about, make it available for people if they want to get it through the medical plan. Move to Delta Dental, and also move to the vision plan from VSP to IMED. Any questions?
Can I take you back to the vision options?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is the glaucoma testing? Is that in here at all? I know, like with our insurance now, when you have that special, whatever that thing is, it gives you a headache, that it's not covered, we have to pay for it?
No, glaucoma testing would be part of your medical plan because it's a medical
Okay,
condition.
but it will still,
Right, that's right.
okay. And this says elective contacts. What does that mean under?
So there's two types of contacts that you would have through the
Yeah.
plan. One is a contact that would be medically required. So a follow-up to cataract surgery would be mandatory contacts. And then elective would be somebody that would choose to either wear contacts or glasses.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
When you're talking about glaucoma, that puff testing and that, there is a portion of a test that is not covered by the plan. One is if you take the old traditional test that provides the puff of air,
Yes.
that's covered under the plan. But if you take the new digital mapping, it is not covered under the plan,
Right.
and you have to pay for that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Right.
I would imagine at some point it probably will be because it's very common. I know the
Most
last,
of them don't do the puff
Right.
anymore.
right, yeah, right, yeah.
All right.
Who's going to go in there and elect for, getting this puff in your eye?
The anticipation is awful when you do that.
It is. It is. Terrible.
Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for all
Thank
your
you.
help. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yvonne, can you just talk about the schedule?
Good morning,
Good
Yvonne.
morning. Yvonne Smith, Benefit Plan Coordinator. We are scheduled to come before you next week with a motion to take the recommendations for that USI has presented and that the Health Advisory Committee has approved. And going forward, we will schedule open enrollment. Should be the last week of October, the first week of November. And then moving forward, the benefits would be effective January 1st. One thing that we do need to know would be the option for the hearing aid benefit. There are 3 options. The Health Advisory Committee has recommended option C, but we would like to hear from the board on what their thoughts are.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yvonne, will we have a representative from the advisory committee here for that?
For next week,
Mm-hmm.
I will let them know. I mean, I can't guarantee who will be here, but usually somebody comes from the committee.
Is there one particular spokesperson for that, or?
I could ask somebody.
It would be nice to hear from them that
Yes,
they,
usually Jim Maloney
Mhm.
comes, but he's out of the office at the moment, so I don't know if he'll be returning by then.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or anything this morning? Moving on to public participation, is there anyone this morning who would like to have public participation that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. Board, the consent agenda under item E has been prepared for you in advance. You've had time to review it. Are there any additions or deletions or any discussions regarding consent agenda this morning?
No.
Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item F, non-consent agenda. Board, we're going to start with item number 5. Item number 5 is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution number 149-21, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the revised total amount of $1,498,048.11 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated September 15, 2021, BCC directed prepaid invoices reports, or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on September the 14th, 2021, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for the same pursuant to Section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 6 is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution number 154-21, resolving to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $171.36 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated September 15, 2021, BCC directed prepaid invoices reports and/or procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on September 14, 2021, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for same pursuant to Section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Is there a motion to pay that bill?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a I'll make the second on that. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Abstain.
Item number 7.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Dick, Director of Department of Job and Family Services. Item number 7 is my recommendation with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to acknowledge that as of June 2nd, 2021, the electronic filing with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services within the Federal Reporting Social Services Block Grant Title 20 system, the Social Services Block Grant County Profile Report Summary, estimate of Title 20 funds for the County of Clermont, Ohio, for federal fiscal years 2021 through 2023 in the amount of $1,890,500, and to authorize Claire B. Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute said profile report effective for the period of October 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2023. Therefore, Commissioners, this funding that we are allocated is used to address the needs of individuals that are abused, neglected, exploited, have family or individual health problems, frail, impaired, elderly, or handicapped. And in addition, we can use this funding to assist those that are unemployed, in need of job training, have insufficient job skills, or other family or individual dysfunctions. So that's the purpose of this funding that we can utilize throughout JFS divisions.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the recommendation to acknowledge as of 6/2/2021 electronic filing with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services within the Federal Reporting Social Services Block Grant Title 20 system, the Social Services Block Grant County Profile Report Summary Estimate of the Title 20 funds for the County of Clermont County, Ohio for federal fiscal years 2021 through 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Item number 8, Craig Reisner. Good morning.
Morning. Craig Reisner, County Engineer's Office. Item number 8 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt resolution number 150-21 to convert a combined performance and maintenance bond in the amounts listed below for the construction of streets in a subdivision in Batavia Township from the performance bond phase to the maintenance bond phase, effective as of the date of conversion thereof. This is Amelia Park 2 subdivision, Section 10. The performance bond was $31,490 to be converted to a maintenance bond of $10,000.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to adopt resolution number 150-21 is read with combined performance maintenance bond. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 9.
Item 9 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt resolution number 151-21 to convert a combined performance maintenance bond in the amounts listed below for the construction of streets in the following subdivision located in Miami Township from the performance bond phase to the maintenance bond phase. This is Celestial Estates Subdivision, Section 1. The performance bond phase was $24,000, and the maintenance bond phase will be $10,000.
Board, you've heard the reading and recommendation to adopt resolution number 151-21 to convert the combined performance maintenance bond. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 10.
Item 10 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt resolution number 152-21, resolving to authorize Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, to execute, certify, and submit applications for financial assistance for infrastructure improvements for project support, the following improvement projects for program year 36, in the amounts outlined below, or other such amount as may be awarded by the Ohio Public Works Commission, Columbus, Ohio, including all understandings and assurances therein required, and to act in accordance with the application as they may be revised, and to provide such additional information as may be required, pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 164 of the Ohio Revised Code, and further to authorize Jeremy P. Evans to execute the Ohio Public Works grant agreements relative thereto. So this would be asking the board to allow Jeremy Evans to submit for the OPWC applications for 2022.
Thank you. Board, you heard the recommendation to adopt resolution number 152-21, and as described, this is for applications for financial assistance, and this is for infrastructure replacements and improvements for the projects. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you. Item number 11, Lyle Bloom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Item 11 is a recommendation to authorize Claire B. Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Rack and Belore Excavating Company out of Hamilton, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on August 26, 2020 for project number 6402-60141 relative to the Locust Lake Lift Station, a conveyance improvements project located in Batavia and Pierce Townships, and represents a decrease in the amount of $101,803.45 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $1,621,546.55, as well as a non-compensable extension of time of 19 calendar days for the completion thereof, for a revised contract completion date of June 14th, 2021, for additions, deletions, and/or modifications thereto as defined therein. This is the final change order for the project.
Thank you. Board, this is a recommendation to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Rack and Belore Excavating Company Incorporated relative to the Locust Lake Lift Station and Conveyance Improvements projects. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 12.
Item 12 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement that will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantor, as well as provide ingress and egress access to the easement area for parcel number 41-31-02E-036 located within Union Township, and the grantor is the Savannah Ridge 4 LLC.
Would you heard the reading and recommendation to accept the following grant of water easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 13.
Item 13 is a recommendation to accept the following grant of sewer easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement that will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling sewer utility lines, pumping equipment, manholes, and all incidental fixtures required for this transportation of sewage in, on, under, and across the property of the grantor, and this is for project number 6402-60148 relative to the 9-mile collection system improvement project located in Pierce Township, and further to authorize the county auditor to remit payment to the grantor and the amount as outlined below and as indicated on the settlement sheet, which is attached as compensation for the permanent easement and right-of-way granted thereby. And the grantor is Deborah Kraus McDonald for property at 3565 9 Mile Tabasco Road. And this makes 2 of the 5 easements we need for the project.
Board, you heard the recommendation to accept the following grant of sewer easement with rights of reentry for repair and replacement relative to the 9-mile collection system improvements project. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 14.
Item 14 is a recommendation to approve the request to advertise for bids for the furnishing and delivery of chemicals to the county waterworks system pursuant to the specification, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on September 23, 2021, schedule a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting for Thursday, October 7th, 2021 at 10 a.m. with bids to be received until 2:00 p.m. local time on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. Here in the Office of Board of County Commissioners, where they will be publicly opened and read aloud shortly thereafter, and the legal notice will also be posted on the county's website. And this is for the supply and delivery of chemicals at our water treatment plant for calendar year 2022.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to approve the request to advertise for bids for the furnishing and delivery of chemicals to the county waterworks system pursuant to the specifications as described. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 15.
Item 15 is a recommendation to reject the sole bid received on July 22nd, 2021 for project number 6401-60175 relative to the BMW Floxed Basins 1 and 2 and Lake Intake Structure Evaluation, Rehabilitation, and Painting Project located in Batavia Township, inasmuch as the sole bid was found to be non-responsive, and to approve the request to re-advertise for bids for the project pursuant to and in compliance with the specifications, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, September 23rd, 2021. Schedule a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday, October 5th, 2021 at 10 a.m. with bids to be received until 2:00 p.m. local time on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. Here in the Office of the Board of County Commissioners, they will be publicly open and read aloud shortly thereafter, and this notice will also be posted on the county's website. And the engineer's estimate on this project is $940,000. This will make the third time we're attempting to bid this project out, and we've since changed the bid package to allow the potential for 2 different contractors or 2 different contracts, one for just the rehabilitation of the Floxed basins at the treatment plant, and the other for the rehab of the intake structure. So we could have one or two contractors, or they could do both. If that makes sense.
Board, you've heard the reading to reject the sole bid received on July 22nd, 2021 for project number 6401-60175 relative to the BMW Flocksaid Basins 1 and 2 and Lake Intake Structure Evaluation Rehabilitation and Painting Project, and asking to approve the request to re-advertise for bids for project number 6401-60175. Is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 16.
Item 16 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 153-21, resolving to authorize the Clermont County Prosecutor's Office to execute an agreed judgment entry of settlement relative to appropriation case number 2021 CVH 00204 as authorized in resolution number 026-21, which was previously adopted by the board on February 22nd, 2021, for the acquisition of a permanent easement owned by Amber Farah, now known as Amber J. Berry, whose mailing address is 5972 Newtonsville Road, Goshen, Ohio, over a portion of parcel number 493410A118, located in Wayne Township, as outlined in Exhibit 1, which is necessary for project numbers 6402-601116 and 6402-60117, relative to the Newtonsville Collection System Assessment Project and the Newtonsville Wastewater Treatment Plant Project located in Wayne Township, and acknowledging the value of land at $26,726, of which $3,626 was previously deposited with the Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts, and further authorizing the issuance of payment of the remaining balance of $23,100 pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein. And this will wrap up the easements for the Newtonsville Sewer Project.
Great. Board, you've heard the recommendation to adopt resolution number 153-21, and this is to execute an agreed judgment entry of settlement for the acquisition of a permanent easement owned by Amber Farah, also known as Amber J. Berry, and this is relative to the Newtonsville Collection System Assessment Project and the Newtonsville Wastewater Treatment Plant Project. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you, Lyle. Item number 17, Aaron Meadows.
Item number 17 is a recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to approve the following requests for reimbursement of expenses for training and travel pursuant to the policies and procedures of the Board of County Commissioners and in compliance with annual appropriations for calendar year 2021 and any and all amendments subsequent thereto. This is for Commissioner Painter for One Day Columbus, Ohio, for the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, the American Rescue Plan Act Symposium, and 2021 Ohio Council of County Officials Legislative Reception. Total expenses for registration will be $50, estimated not to exceed $50.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to approve the following requests for reimbursement of expenses for training and travel for Commissioner Painter. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Abstain.
Item number 18, Aaron Meadows.
Item number 18 is a recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to approve the following request for reimbursement of expenses for training and travel pursuant to the policies and procedures of the Board of County Commissioners and in compliance with the annual appropriations for calendar year 2021 and any and all amendments subsequent thereto. This is for Commissioner Bonnie Batchelor for One Day Columbus, Ohio, County Commissioners Association of Ohio, American Rescue Plan Act Symposium, and 2021 Ohio Council of County Officials Legislative Reception. Total expenses for the registration is $50, estimated not to exceed a total of $50.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to approve the following request for reimbursement expenses for training and travel pursuant to the policies and procedures of the Board of County Commissioners. This is for Commissioner Bonnie J. Batchelor. Is there a motion to approve? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Abstain.
Item number 19, Mary Raines, good morning.
Mary Raines from OMB. This is a request to increase the 2021 annual appropriations in the CDBG entitlement program income account and other expenses for $27,665.19, and this is monies that come back in for the CDBG that's reinvested in their septic rehab projects.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to resolve and to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 191-20 for calendar year 2021. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes. Thank you, Mary. Item G, are there any additions this morning to the agenda?
We do, Mr. Bickford. I think he has an add-on for an appointment of a deputy dog warden, so we first have to add that to the agenda.
Commissioner, I'd like you to consider adding on the appointment of a deputy dog warden for the county animal shelter pursuant to Chapter 955 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, could we have a motion to add on the proposed add-on for the deputy dog warden for the county of Clermont County, Ohio this morning?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes. Mr. Bishop?
Okay, it's my recommendation to ratify the acceptance of an appointment of Tori Gray as deputy dog warden for the county animal shelter pursuant to and in compliance with Section 955.12 of the Ohio Revised Code for the administration of the statutory requirements of said chapter, and the effective date of this is September 7th, 2021.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to resolve to ratify the acceptance of an appointment for the following individual, Tori Gray, as deputy dog warden for the county of Clermont County, Ohio. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Bickford. Any other additions this morning?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We'll move to item H. Item H is I'm requesting a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Section 121.22G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to confer with the prosecuting attorney concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes, we will return shortly after executive session. Thank you. We have returned from executive session. No decisions were made. At this time, are there any other additions to the agenda today?
Yeah, we have two additions for the board's consideration. The first is a proposed bankruptcy restructuring plan, and the second is training and travel in CTC.
Board, can I have a motion to add these two items to the agenda today?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes, thank you.
The first will be the proposed bankruptcy restructuring plan. Jason?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Jason.
Yes, we have, this is a motion to approve a proposed bankruptcy restructuring plan in the bankruptcy matter in re Mallinckrodt PLC et al., case number 20-12522. We've received recommendation from our bankruptcy counsel in the case to review and approve of a proposed restructuring plan for the opiate manufacturer, Mallinckrodt, in relation to that bankruptcy matter. So it's my recommendation, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Agel, to approve of the joint plan of reorganization of Mallinckrodt PLC and its debtor affiliates under Chapter 11 of the Bankruptcy Code. That's the bankruptcy restructuring plan as proposed in that bankruptcy case, and authorize our bankruptcy counsel to submit such approval on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. Outside of this motion, there's no additional action the board needs to take. We'll communicate our approval, our intent to approve, to our counsel, and they will submit that approval to the court. This is in conjunction with the ongoing national prescription opiate litigation, Mass District litigation.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to approve a motion to approve that joint plan and reorganization and proposed restructuring of the plan This is the bankruptcy plan for the regarding opiate settlement, correct?
This is regarding an opiate structured bankruptcy settlement with this manufacturer.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Jason, just and I know it can't be specific, but just in round numbers, what is this settlement composed of?
Sure. So in very general, high-level terms, the settlement, the restructuring would create a trust fund, basically, for public entities. That trust fund would be populated with about, I think the lower end estimate would be in the mid 800 millions to the upper estimate of $1.5 billion or so would be put into the trust fund, and then that would distribute out pursuant to a structure to the various states, of which Ohio gets a certain percentage, roughly mid 4.3 something percentage, of which that would then further get distributed out to the various local subdivisions such as Clermont County. They don't have exact figures on the amount that would go into the trust fund beyond those that I've just provided, because they're still hoping to gain additional funds through various legal mechanisms through the bankruptcy case.
And that distribution will be done per the One Ohio agreement that's already...
Distribution from the state of Ohio to its local subdivisions would be looking like it would be done pursuant to the One Ohio that we've agreed to previously.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Any further discussion this morning? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
We haven't, I'm sorry, did you guys vote on that one? I apologize.
I'm sorry?
We did it.
For the add-on?
To approve it.
Okay, so that would have been Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I have the add-on mixed up with this action.
It's okay.
Bonnie, did you make the motion? Okay, thank you. Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have another?
Yeah, we do. We have the CTC travel.
This is a recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to approve the following request: reimbursement of expenses for training and travel pursuant to the policies and procedures of the Board of County Commissioners and in compliance with the annual appropriations for calendar year 2021 and any and all amendments subsequent thereto. This is for Scott Brewer from the Clermont Transportation Connection for a one-day in Akron, Ohio for the Ohio Public Transit Association 2021 Conference and Expo. There is no expenses for this training.
And the reason this is an add-on is because the travel was this Friday. So we
Friday.
got it approved by the board.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the recommendation to approve the following requests for reimbursement of expenses for training and travel pursuant to policies and procedures, Clermont County Board of Commissioners, and this is for Scott Brewer. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Any other add-ons?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now we're moving on to item I, county staff, elected officials discussion. Any county staff or elected officials this morning? Seeing none, moving to J, member comments. Members, any comments today?
No.
Hearing,
Maybe not a comment, but, maybe discussion just for us here. Tom, I would just ask, when it comes to, information that's on everybody's mind is obviously the president has made some executive orders that pertain to COVID-19 and vaccination. And could it be possible that we get an update from Julianne to find out what direction are we going into here? What do we need to take into consideration? What is the state of Ohio doing? What's the governor doing? What's the legislation doing?
Sure. I'll ask her to attend next week's session.
Okay?
any other member comments this morning? Hearing none, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week.